What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and tonight we're going to be talking about the update that dropped for COD 2.0 today, all new Easter eggs, and some other surprises. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and let me know down below in the comment section, what surprises do you guys want to see in Season 2 Reloaded? Don't forget, it's going to feel like it's a bit of a shorter season than Season 1, because the length of this season is going to be the length that Season 1 was supposed to be, which is roughly, 55-ish days. So before we know it, we're going to have the mid-season update, and then shortly after that, we'll have Season 3 on around April 11th. It's going to be great. We have a new 66 map coming, and hopefully some other surprises for DMZ and Warzone that we just don't know about yet. But as of today, we did get a brand new trailer for the new combat pack that is live for all PS Plus users right now. The pack does come with two blueprints, one called the Carver and one called the Slasher, for some great weapons like the Fennec. I think that's even the M4 there towards the right. And we also have our brand new operator skin for Oni. Again, Oni was the PS Plus exclusive operator skin that also released during the launch window of this game. We also have a new emblem sticker, calling card, and even a charm. Overall, a fairly solid looking pack. Some may even argue that it's a better looking operator skin than the tier 100 battle pass skin we have for season 2, and you could argue that. I mean, the tier 100 skin does have a reactive tattoo, which is awesome, and that's of course for Ronin, but for the Oni operator skin here, it's free if you just have PS Plus and play on a PlayStation. But as a reminder too, if you guys are on Xbox and PC, you won't get access to any Oni content until at some point next year, or I should say a good, 9-ish months from now to be exact. And then if you're in a lobby with somebody else that's running the Oni operator skin, you won't be able to see it, unfortunately. Now, it would have been cool if Xbox and PC could at least see the skin in game, even if they can't equip it until October or November this fall. But it does look like, according to Tom Henderson, PlayStation exclusivity for Call of Duty is going to be coming to an end at some point next year. We'll likely see exclusivity still for COD 2023 or whatever that Modern Warfare 2 spinoff is. Maybe not for the next Black Ops game, but that's again a bit up in the air right now. I'll make a separate video sometime soon talking about the latest updates about the Microsoft acquisition. But for multiplayer today, they did confirm that Gun Game is now available over in pubs along with the game mode Grind. As I talked about in a previous video, it looks like when they confirm new game modes for a new season, it doesn't necessarily mean that all those modes will be available day one like we're accustomed to from previous Call of Duty updates. It looks like with COD 2.0, they'll announce all these new game modes and then they'll separate them, right? One week you get this mode, the next week you get the other one, and they'll rotate them in and out of the public playlist, which I'm not that big of a fan of, but I do understand they want to stretch out a bit of content and release things accordingly. I would just say when it comes to classic game modes like Gun Game, Infected, even Grind, drop all those on the same day. But when it comes to a newer game mode that's a brand new experience, I could see them wanting to wait off a little bit and hold those for different weeks or for the mid-season update. That I get. But we also have Dome 24/7, thankfully, because the Season 2 Mosh Pit playlist that went live last week was a blend of Museum and Dome, which is fine, I get that, but people out there were reporting, including myself, that Museum was much more common in that playlist than Dome was, which was a bit frustrating, but that's also what was happening with Shoot the Ship when that playlist was live a couple of weeks ago. And they also have third-person Mosh Pit being offered for regular multiplayer. Now, when it comes to the Warzone 2 side of things, they did confirm over on Twitter that each of the 4 squad sizes for Resurgence will be in the playlist rotation at some point throughout Season 2, with solo support coming this upcoming Friday. Now, same deal as the multiplayer game modes, they'll confirm some playlist updates or modes on a roadmap or a blog post, but doesn't necessarily reflect when those modes or playlists are coming out. It will say launch window or launch, but what they actually mean is they'll drop one of those modes or playlists during one week and save the other ones for a following week, which you take that as you may, right? But with solos coming this Friday, that is a good sign. We'll just have to wait a little bit longer for duos and trios to come to Resurgence at some point soon, definitely before the mid-season update, and then by the time Season 2 Reloaded does roll around, I'm sure all 4 squad size options will be ready for Ashika. Not sure if they're just not ready to go right now, or if they're just separating it for the sake of separating it so that they stretch Season 2 as long as they possibly can. I know I personally prefer Resurgence trios. That was my go-to for Rebirth and Fortune's Keep, but let me know what your favorite squad size is for Resurgence down below in this video's comments. But also with that, they did release the new Search and Seizure contract, which was also something they talked about a lot in the recent blog post. That's live as of last night, and when you do that contract, what you'll do is you'll pick up the contract itself. It'll show you where to go. When you go to that location, there'll be AI guarding this vehicle. You want to take them out and then take that vehicle to a designated location that will then automatically complete the contract. It's a pretty cool contract. I personally like it. I'll do it as often as I can because mine as well, right, for the free cash. But people were very vocal about the release of this new contract, and the replies of the tweet from Call of Duty confirming that this contract is out, people were saying that AI needs to stay out of Warzone, right? Keep it in DMZ, but keep it out of Resurgence, keep it out of Battle Royale. I get where people are coming from, but in the defense of the developers here, with the AI here, with this contract, the AI isn't that annoying. I mean, they don't just randomly walk around the map. They only spawn in when somebody grabs that contract. It's only a few bots you have to kill anyway. Nothing too frustrating to where it can actually affect your core gameplay or get in the way of actual gunfights with other real people. It's not anything like that. I mean, if they would have added AI to Ashika Resurgence where they just walk around random locations, like how Warzone 2 was when it first came out on Al-Mazrah, then I would get people's arguments. But for just a contract, I don't really mind it. I mean, keep AI in Warzone when it comes to just contracts or strongholds, that's it. And the black sites, of course. But when it comes to the AIs randomly roaming around, that's what I'm not really a fan of, and I'm glad they kind of got rid of that after the last major update. But yeah, Resurgence does get very hectic, as you're going to be seeing in the background gameplay. There's no real room to have AI also ruin that experience or get in the way. But another Easter egg also in Live in Ashika, which we'll get to in a second, but one Easter egg that did come out with the launch of Season 2 as of last week that I didn't really get to cover in a recent video is the new seal Easter egg. So what you want to do is go over near this Ashika port area, find some type of explosive, whether it's a Semtex, a frag, I think even a C4 would work. I doubt a precision airstrike would do much, but find an explosive and then go here into the water, and randomly you'll see fish jumping around. What you want to do is throw an explosive near those fish, and once that explosion happens, you'll then be able to pick up the fish as loot. And what you want to do is pick up at least 3, but you might even get an option to pick up 5 or 6, possibly more if you find other fish in other parts of the water. Just grab them all. What you want to do is take this fish, or the fish loot I should say, over to a seal at the beach club. So when you walk up to the seal, it'll say hold square or X or whatever command is on your keyboard to feed the seal. Do that and give them at least 3 fish and it'll drop you a random reward. Could be a kill streak, a piece of equipment. I think people out there have reported they've gotten some basic weapons with few attachments. It's complete RNG, not the best reward in the world, but something fun just to do. If you just happen to come across a dead body and that person may have had some fish in their inventory, pick them up. If you're close to the beach club, come take them to the seal and see what you get from it. A precision airstrike or a mortar strike could come into clutch and help you win an entire match of Resurgence, right? You never know, but just a little silly Easter egg that I figured I'd cover real quickly for those out there that didn't know about it. But the new Easter egg that got added in is a secret room over at the power plant. So I've dropped that power plant quite a few times to get some decent loot. There's always something you can find in here, whether it's a durable gas mask or high rarity weapon, whatever the case is. It's worth dropping here once in a while, and things in apartments right across the street could get very hectic. So often I take a stroll down to the power plant if things in apartment are getting a little annoying, or if we clear the entire apartment area with the squad, then we'll move on to the power plant and then move on from there towards the castle or wherever the circle is moving to. I've been over here a bit, so what you want to do is stroll exactly the way I do through this power plant and activate these 4 switches. Now you want to make sure all 4 switches are in the up position, but if you're a fan of zombies maps like Buried or Alpha Omega, you'll know that with Call of Duty, interacting with one switch could affect another. Now you do want to be careful, but don't worry, if you make a mistake with one of the switches, you'll just have to do a little bit of work to figure out which switch affects another one, so you can make sure that eventually all 4 are up again. But if you follow the same order I do and walk exactly as I do here in this gameplay, starting at the main part of the power plant, working your way down, if you do it exactly in this order, you'll get it right first try, and you'll be able to then open the secret door. As you'll see here, you'll hear power restored after you hit all 4 switches, and in this room there's quite a few orange chests, some good loot, really helpful for regain if you guys out there maybe die out somewhere else around the map and you manage to spawn near power plant and the circle is in your favor. Coming down here could be a really easy regain and can help you catch up to wherever you were before. An awesome area, or somewhere you could just drop at the beginning of every match because you want to make sure you get the most loot possible, a bunch of cash. This is a pretty cool area, and this area is of course already open by default in DMZ, but is a secret room now here for Resurgence. Now for those that are like, wait, what about maybe a free blueprint or something? Yeah, I know I missed that too. From Warzone 1, opening up a secret area would usually mean that there's a free blueprint sitting on a table somewhere. You pick that up and it unlocks it for your entire team. Hopefully they bring that feature back at some point in the future with other Easter eggs, but I'd also assume there's going to be maybe 2 or 3 more quests added to Ashika Island over the next couple of weeks. Hopefully one of those adds in a free blueprint or something else. Now we also have an update to the Path of the Ronin event that I talked about quite a bit in some previous videos. As of this week, they've added in 2 more challenges you can do. The first one is Compassion, where you can either revive 20 teammates in Warzone 2 or get 100 operator assist in Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer. The other challenge is Courage. Complete 3 search and seizure contracts or get 3 operator kills without dying 25 times in multiplayer. So now that the contract is live, you can do this one as well. And it does look like, as it says towards the bottom right, new challenges will refresh in 20 days, which means 20 days from now, time of recording this, you'll see a new set of challenges as I talked about in my last video. And those new challenges will add in what looks like a new Kadachi blueprint and 2 universal camos, probably even some other cosmetics that we don't know about yet. But at that point, you'll no longer be able to do these sets of challenges to get the free crossbow. Next week though, they'll be adding in the 2 final challenges challenges, loyalty, and respect, and upon doing all 7 of these, no matter if you do them in multiplayer or Warzone, you'll be able to get the base crossbow for free, which I get is kind of redundant unless you care about doing things the proper way. You could get access to the crossbow right now for free through a really weird glitch using the custom mods offline. Talked about that in a previous video as well. If you want to do that or just buy the bundle when it comes out first week of March, you can do that as well. Now we also have a new minor Warzone 2 update that does increase the number of armor plates you can find via ground loot. I feel like ground loot has been drastically improved in Season 2, and especially when it comes to armor plates, I feel more comfortable finding plates now, but there still is room for improvement, and luckily they've buffed the spawn rates of plates, because it's silly when you guys are pretty set up, or maybe you die out and you regain, but you just can't find enough plates to win that match or to win some gunfights that you probably could have won otherwise. Luckily they're on top of that. And also, with that being said, over on the Trello board it does say that the issue where you couldn't mark targets using a spotter scope was finally fixed, along with some weird issue where players will get stuck activating the nuke if you guys did Champion's Quest over on Al Mazrah. Still no word yet if a new Champion's Quest is coming to Ashika Island at some point. Nobody's found anything like that just yet, but according to a recent conference call that happened with Activision, content creators did confirm that a Champion's Quest was not added to Resurgence, at least not right now. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on the brand new update that dropped in COD 2.0 today? How are you feeling about the brand new Easter eggs and everything else we discussed? Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.